You know, life happens to everyone, and I'm no exception to that rule. 21 years of spiritual coaching and my experience have taught me that it is indeed the truth that will make you free. Hi, my name is Jayel, and I'm here to talk truth with you. So today I'm meeting with a family that's dealing with crystal meth, and a family that's dealing with rejection, a family that's dealing with pain of the past. And it's my prayer today to talk with them and find a place of truth and support them in getting their full healing. Come on and join me. Meet my first guests, Joe and Amber Johnson. Both believe that Joe's failure to meet expectations and Amber's molestation by family members keeps them in a revolving cycle of drugs. It is my intention to interrupt this thought process. Brentley, raised by his grandmother, believes that he has dealt with the rejection from Mother Charity, and he is here only for moral support, but I suspect that something is not quite right with his story. I think that we've had, some conversations over the past couple of weeks and how I can support you. And I wanted to hear your voice in where you were there then and where you're at now and how I can support you. Yours actually have changed. And I think that that's good that it's changed because it tells me that you've had time to process, some of the things that we talked about over the telephone. So I know that we have one person missing, which is your mom, and we understand that situation, and we're gonna try to figure out a way to continue to support her as well. But while we have the three here, we're just gonna deal with the three, okay? All right. So before I want you to take a look in your box.
In it?
Nope. Just take a look at it.
Oh.
And so those are the one words that you all had gave me that best described how you feel. Tell me what your word is.
My word is overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. And what does that look like to you?
Just taking on more than what I can chew sometimes.
And where does that come from, though?
Trying to meet everyone else's expectations.
People pleasing.
Yes.
And so when you can't perform, you feel overwhelmed. Okay. And yours?
Inevitable.
And tell me about that word.
Well, I've always felt my family has been dealt this hand, I felt everything that I've went through and my family has went through. It's just inevitable that the next thing that's gonna happen has always been negative,
okay,
traumatic, always tragedies in our family. And so even when it comes to my drug addiction, sometimes I feel like it's inevitable that I'm gonna go back, and that's just the hand life dealt me.
Okay. And how about you?
It says rejected.
Do you feel rejected?
Initially I would say no, but I can definitely see how or why that's been perceived of me.
So tell me, what word would you pick?
Just to clarify, what?
Just to clarify where you're at in the thing that you know as far as in terms of your relationship with your mom. Where would you say you're at?
Currently, it's already started healing, I think.
Has it? Really? How would you say that?
I've started to build relationships and get to know her. That's a great first step.
And so what would you think if I told you that your mom is very concerned about your relationship between you and her?
Probably, I can definitely see how that's been. I haven't been as consistent with visiting her as she or I probably would have wanted to.
So can I offer you some truth?
Okay.
The truth of the matter is what I feel like and what I perceive to know, okay, is that there is a disconnect, of course, between you and your mom. It's almost like an empty void that, she's scared to approach you because of how you've been brought up versus to, how she's brought up the other siblings. She doesn't know how to reach you. Would you say that would be a fair statement?
Sure.
Okay. So when I asked you, like, did you feel rejected? You told me not initially. But with that statement being made, that would bring rejection, wouldn't it?
What was it? Ended up coming to, like, okay, so if he is right and I do feel abandoned still, then here's some telling signs that I've seen throughout my life that, I mean, they don't fully illustrate like the goings-ons of it, but they definitely hint that that might be possible.
You've been building something on a foundation that's not real. And if you want it to be based off of a real foundation, you got to find out the why. Why did you give me up? Why did my grandmother raise me instead of you, and you raised all these other kids? What was wrong with me that you couldn't have me? And let her explain that thing to you, Mr. Brentley, so you'll know, and then you can base an assumption on something that's factual. Don't you deserve that?
Yeah.
I would say you do. And so when we first talked, you wanted to be here to support Amber. My question is to you, what about you? And I asked you that. And you said, I'm fine, but I knew better. So if the whole family dynamic is going to be whole, then let's do your part by being open to the process so we can get this taken care of. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
I want you to be open to this. And I don't know if you don't know how to be open to it, or are you just so close to it, you've made what you feel and you made what you think to be the way it is.
Yeah, I think I can control.
It's not about control. It's about your ability to feel vulnerable, to say, hey, I had a mother that did not raise me, and that's not okay. And can I be honest with you? I did too. That's how I know it wasn't okay. And that's how I know that what you're telling me, it's not flying. Because until I approached my mother and I talked to my mother about what she did and how she gave me up instead of all my other brothers and sisters, I was not okay until I was able to talk to her about it. And when I found out the why, and when I told her I was angry, and when I told her I felt rejected, and when I told her I felt abandoned, and she sat there and she was able to hear that stuff, then she was able to give me some answers that can help repair what it was that I was feeling.
I don't know how to be angry with her. I don't know anymore.
But when you say I don't know anymore, tells me that you have been.
Yes, I've told you that. I think I've said outright that I was angry.
Was and still is two different things. Because my friend, Mr. Brentley, you are still angry. You are. And the mere fact that you showed up here and was the first one to show up here tells me that you have. And it's very noble, very noble. I don't want to be angry. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to be angry, but guess what? You got to put that thing somewhere. You got to put what's really apparent somewhere. And then move away from the anger. Does that make sense to you?
I think so.
Because guess what? You're sitting here just as calm as a cucumber. But let me tell you something. All that displaced anger, all that feeling that you have buried deep down on the inside, it's going to rise up and it's going to meet you one day. And you're not going to like the way it looks. It's called suppress. You're suppressing it. And you've done a very good job at it.
Yeah, so good. I don't even believe it. I'm being honest with you. I seriously don't think I'm angry.
Okay, so why are we here?
To support
To who?
everyone.
How? They've never supported you.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
No.
So you can be everything for everybody, but nobody can be nothing for you.
Doesn't sound healthy when you put it that way.
It's the truth. It's the truth. I'm trying to figure out how can anybody support somebody that has never supported you.
Feels like that's been the story of my life, I guess.
It doesn't have to be. Either you're open or you're not. I have nothing to gain by this. Nothing. Nothing to gain by you sitting in a place of freedom. Nothing. Other than to walk out, see you walk out here with an aha moment of saying, you know what? He was right, and I need to change some things. So then that way I can get the real acceptance that I deserve.
So how do we get there? How do I find the anger? I don't understand.
Glad you asked that. Let's go find it.
Okay.
What did he feel?
Oh, that was during college. He felt like he couldn't connect with his peers.
Sounded like he was angry. Why couldn't he connect with his peers?
That's what he was trying to find out. They all had the same passion, and still he didn't know how to talk to them.
Would that be accurate? Breathe. Tell me what you're feeling.
I don't know, regret.
She would want you to be open to this. And you have many talks with her, haven't you? You gonna abandon her? Did she abandon you?
No.
Are you gonna abandon her? Did she abandon you?
No.
Breathe, Mr. Bradley. Breathe. She's the only one that understood. Mr. Bradley, she's the only one that understood. Don't abandon her by denying your feelings. They're real. They're real. Turn this way. Let yourself feel here. She's thinking about you. And she would want you to be connected with this. This right here, Mr. Bradley. Yeah. She loved you so. Even when Mom didn't, she was there. She was there. Even when Dad couldn't, she was there. The only one that made you feel as like you belonged. Mr. Bradley, it's okay. It's okay to be angry. It's okay. It's okay to feel the bitterness of being rejected. It's okay. Because she would want you to know that you deserve more. You deserve the why, Mr. Bradley. Breathe. Breathe. Now I want you to come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Right here. And I want you to hit that thing. And I want you to hit that thing for everything you feel. And I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to let it go. Can you do that? Do it again, Mr. Bradley. Take it. That's it, Mr. Bradley. That's it, Mr. Bradley. I want to know why. I want to know why. That's it, Mr. Bradley. I want to know why. Come here. Look at me. You want to know the why, don't you? We're going to find out why for Grandma. So you can tell her you don't put this thing to rest, okay? All right.
sometimes we are aware that we have issues and we're aware that we have problems. The situation we come into is we don't know how to be free. I know, for instance, if someone was drunk, they know they're alcoholic, but then how do I stop being an alcoholic? And that is where we fall into. And so this process allowed them to understand, yes, I've had trauma, I've been abandoned, I've been rejected. We all know that, but how do I let it go? And that's what all of these 2 days and these 3 days were about, is having the tools and the resources to understand that first, you're not by yourself, that someone has gone through it and recovered before you, and now we're able to reach back and say, hey, this is how you're able to let that abandonment issue go. And so seeing the transformations and seeing each one of them go through the deliverance that they needed and the let go, it was phenomenal. And I'm so excited to see where their future will go if they just implement the tools that were given.
So after speaking with Amber and Brentley on yesterday, I felt like it was necessary for me to reach out to their mother to serve a little validity on what was really going on. Charity is a mother who deals with guilt of undealt generational pathologies of drugs and rejection and molestation. Miss Charity, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for joining us. And I felt like yesterday after talking with Amber, there was a lot that you can share the validity of what she's going through and kind of help support her in the process. And so when we spoke, you had told me that you were tired and that you were dealing with just the stress of just being tired of all the things that come with what you've dealt with over the years. And so I'd like just to give you an opportunity to share and to see how we can support you.
So we never had our own house. We always lived with one of her sisters or with my grandma or with, and just watching them, load up, and the older cousins would kind of take care of us, and they would go off to the bars. And that's
So there was no real stability in the family dynamics with the father or the mother being present.
Yeah, I didn't see my father very often, mostly during summer breaks or something.
Wow. Go ahead and breathe. Go ahead and breathe. I know it's a lot, but it's okay. It's okay.
I feel like a normal person when they fall, ouch, I'm going to skin at my knees. But in my brain, if I fall, I'm going to break bones, not just skin at my knees. My thinking would go extreme, so therefore my fear was
Extreme.
bigger. And so I always chose, even in relationships, the mean guy that I thought could protect me, but little did I know he was going to maybe be mean to me too. But
And how many guys were there, by the time Amber came on the picture?
A couple. Yeah.
And what was it like dealing with them?
I was still young, so I was really young when I got pregnant with her. So, I really couldn't say, it was just, a lot of drinking and that kind of stuff, hanging out.
Wow. So, hang on. I want you to visualize, because they have a lot of questions for you. But from what I'm learning and hearing you say, there is no way you could have been accountable for what you've done other than being present. But I want to take the guilt away, because you couldn't give them something that you didn't have. And I think understanding that, them understanding it from a way that that know your story is vital to their freedom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to do. I would like to serve you. So in your box, you said tired. Let's open your box up. Go ahead and look at the other side of that.
Okay.
What does that say?
It said, drained of strength and energy, fatigued often to the point of exhaustion, obviously worn by hard use, run down, trite, hackneyed.
Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Is that what you feel emotionally?
Sometimes.
Okay. Is that what you feel like physically then?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Because the tiredness, what it does is, what I'm hearing you say, I'm tired of running from my past. And it always seems to show up present in my future, in my present.
Yeah, I could almost visualize that in myself. So I feel like if I'm constantly moving forward, trying to better my life, I'm doing great, and I feel good about me and myself in my life. But I feel like when I stop, it just hits me from behind and gets so heavy and just weighs on me that I have to stop for a day and just cry for all the things that I've been through. And then because I've grown so much, I've learned to just kind of shake it all off and be like, okay, let's go again.
Yeah. And so my intentions and my prayer is today for you is let's take this away so you can actually experience freedom. Back in that box. Let's look back in that box. Let's see who this person is. Is she weary?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that what she tells you? She's weary? What comes up for you?
I don't know, a lot. Being a young mom, at this point, I had just got out of a bad car wreck. My mom had just passed away.
A lot of grief.
Yeah.
A lot of pain.
Yeah. I was with Brettley's dad, whom I never was physically, and these are things that I feel like I can't share with him, but like I absolutely hated his dad.
You're gonna have to.
But I feel like if I'm telling him that I hated his dad that much,
That's not accurate, is it?
that I would be telling him that I hate him.
But that's not accurate. It's not accurate. Because see, what you feel towards his father has no bearings on who you push through this world. And guess what? I think he can handle it. Because then the truth of the matter is, he already knows.
Yeah.
He already knows.
Like I see pictures of his dad on Facebook every once in a while. His sister giving her him a happy birthday, photo or whatever, and I'm just like,
That's not.
why do I have this much hate towards somebody that's?
And it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay to hate, but it's okay to have those feelings because guess what? That's your truth. You, his daughter, him, they was not there. They didn't deal with some of the things that you had to deal with. So saying that is an expression of how you felt when you were with him. Has no validity on how Bradley feels or anybody else of that matter. And carrying this around, you're not freeing him, you're keeping him trapped. We gotta say it. We gotta talk about it. And I'm here. I'm here. Tell me what you think.
I don't know, that there's a few things that I should admit to Brettley that I'm not sure how he would take it.
I'm here to support you.
Just kind of unsure of where to go with everything, but ready to get to a place of healing for me and my kids. And just thinking about what that means for all of us. I think earlier, I spoke to Pastor Jay about things in my past that I feel like I should or shouldn't share. And just knowing that there is still a boundary there is going to be easier for me to help with that healing process, I guess. That I don't have to share everything about my past with them, but just to kind of help them have an understanding of where I came from without involving all the details is going to be enough. Like, it would help them to maybe not accept the way things were, but to understand why they were, and that we could go forward from here. I believe, I thought about the scripture that says that I give you abundant life, and I was like, I understand that, but I've made a lot of bad choices, so I'm just going to learn to be thankful for this. And he said, no, when I redeemed you fully, so I'm going to give you that abundant life that I promised you. So therefore, ever since then, I went to Cherokee Nation Business Tech School, where I learned Microsoft Office Suite. I was really highly inspired to get a job I got a job at Cherokee Nation Vocational Rehabilitation Program, where they help people go through school to retrain. And while I was there, there was a lady going to school who had 2 little kids, and mine were all teenagers. So I was inspired to go back to school, and they helped me to go through school. I got my bachelor's degree, and then my professor encouraged me to keep going and helped me to get into one of the best social work schools in the nation. It's called the Brown School of Social Work in St. Louis, Missouri, and I didn't have the finances for it, but I was blessed. And so I went there for a year and a half for their advanced standing program, and I got my master's degree in social work. And I just continue to strive to move forward, because everything that I do to help other people is healing me. I feel like it was a calling. I feel like it makes all of my pain and everything that I've ever been through worthwhile, not only for myself but for my family, because now I can be an example for them and show them that, like, we don't have to lay in our hurt, but we can get up and make it powerful for other people's lives.
As a child, I was molested by family members.
Did it, you did it. I'm proud of you. Come on, let's walk back upstairs. Mom did it. She did it for the family.